Once upon a time, in a faraway village, there lived a humble man named Bako. He was not rich, but he had a beautiful and loving family. Bako was a hard-working farmer, but he did not own a farm of his own. Instead, he worked on the farms of wealthier villagers, earning just enough to take care of his wife and children. Bako's wife, Nia, was a kind and hard-working woman. She sold fruits and vegetables in the village market, always wearing a warm smile despite the struggles they faced. Every morning she prepared her goods and went to the market, determined to support her family in every way she could. Bako and Nia had 3 children, 2 sons, Kanu and Zuba, and a daughter, Lami. Though they lived a modest life, their home was filled with love, laughter, and warmth. Every evening, after a long day of work, Bako would return home to be greeted by his wife and children. Nia would serve him a simple but delicious meal, and they would sit together, sharing stories and laughter. However, Bako had one struggle. His friends who were once close to him began to drift away. Many of them were wealthier than him and looked down upon his poverty. Over time, they stopped inviting him to gatherings, embarrassed to associate with someone of his status. But Bako always told himself, "My family is what truly matters." One day, a great feast was held in the village, and Bako decided to attend. When he arrived, his old friends seemed happy to see him and invited him to sit with them. But after they had finished eating, one of them said, "Bako, since you are not as wealthy as us, you should clear the plates." Bako was shocked and replied, "We are all friends, and I am even older than most of you. Just because I don't have as much money as you doesn't mean you can treat me this way." But his friends continued laughing at him. Humiliated, Bako had no choice but to clear the plates. He left the gathering feeling heartbroken. When he arrived home, Nia noticed his sadness and asked him what had happened. Bako sighed and said, "My friends treated me badly today because I am poor, but it doesn't matter. I will always do my best for you and our children." Despite the mistreatment, Bako continued working hard every day. He labored under the scorching sun, planting and harvesting crops for others. But many times the farm owners delayed his payment, making it even harder to provide for his family. His wealthier friends often took advantage of him. When he asked one for money to buy food, the friend laughed and said, "If you want money, you must clean my house and wash my clothes." Desperate to feed his family, Bako agreed. He worked tirelessly, only to be paid a small amount, far less than what he had earned. One season, Bako heard that Chief Janga, the richest man in the village, needed workers for his harvest. Bako saw this as an opportunity to finally earn decent pay. He approached the chief and offered his services along with his 2 sons. Chief Janga agreed. "My farm is large, and I need strong workers. You may begin tomorrow," he said. The next morning, Bako and his sons woke before sunrise and went to the chief's farm. They worked tirelessly in the heat and rain, harvesting crops and filling sacks. Though their hands were rough and their backs ached, they never complained. They knew their hard work would bring food to the table. After many days, the harvest was finally complete. Bako felt a sense of pride as he approached Chief Janga for payment. But instead of paying in full, the chief gave him only a third of what he was owed. "Come back tomorrow for the rest," he said. Bako was surprised. This had never happened before. But he took the money and thanked the chief, hopeful that he would receive the rest the next day. That night, he told Nia what had happened. She frowned and said, "Be careful, Bako. Something feels strange about this." The next day, Bako returned to the chief's house, hoping to collect the remaining payment. But instead of handing him the money, Chief Jenga invited him to sit and eat. "You have worked hard all your life, Bako," he said. "Don't you think it's time to stop struggling?" Bako hesitated. "What do you mean, Chief?" Chief Jenga leaned in and smiled. "There is a way to become rich without hard labor. No bloodshed is required, just a simple ritual. You are getting older, Bako, and soon you won't be able to provide for your family through physical work." The chief then placed a heavy pouch of money in Bako's hands. "This is 10 times what I owe you, a small taste of the wealth you could have. Take your time to decide." Bako had never seen such a large sum of money before. Trembling, he took it and thanked the chief, promising to think about his offer. That night, he showed the money to Nia. Her eyes widened in shock. "Bako, where did all this money come from?" He explained Chief Jenga's offer, and Nia's face filled with worry. "This sounds too good to be true. We have always lived honestly. Be careful, Bako. Easy riches can bring great trouble." For days, Bako wrestled with his decision. The money was tempting, but he feared the unknown price he might have to pay. Finally, he made up his mind. "I will go to the forest tomorrow and meet the old man for the ritual," he told his wife. The next morning, Bako made his way to the dark edge of the forest, where an old man with a long white beard awaited him. "Chief Jenga told me you would come," the old man said. "Are you ready?" With a nervous nod, Bako stepped into a clearing where strange symbols were drawn on the ground. The old man chanted, handing Bako a bowl of dark oil. "Rub this on your skin. The gods will bless you." As Bako applied the oil, he felt warmth spread through his body. The old man then placed a small pouch of gold coins in his hands. "This is only the beginning. More will come to you. But remember, there is always a price." When Bako returned home, his family was astonished by the gold. "The gods have blessed us," he told them. Over time, his wealth grew beyond imagination. His small home turned into a grand house, and his family dressed in fine clothes. Those who once shunned him now flocked to him, eager to be his friend again. But one evening, a messenger arrived with an ominous message. The old man had summoned Bako. At the forest's edge, the old man stood waiting. "It is time," he said. "The gods demand their price. You must sacrifice your daughter, Lami." Bako's heart stopped. "No, not my daughter." The old man's gaze did not waver. "You made a bargain, Bako. Wealth does not come without sacrifice." Tears streamed down Bako's face as he realized the true cost of his decision. He had gained riches but was now faced with an impossible choice. Would he sacrifice his daughter, or would he defy the gods and risk losing everything? And so, Bako stood at the edge of the forest, trapped between wealth and the love of his family, knowing that whatever he chose, his life would never be the same again.
Watch out for part 2.